Hello everyone, we're going to be discussing the screenshots of Splitgate, and not just the 8 screenshots, but there's also 2 new screenshots that was not discovered until today. I discovered one of them, and the other was discovered by Jernik after I shared how I found my first one. He kind of made the connection and was easily able to find the second one. So, but before we discuss those screenshots, I have forgotten something from the last interactive trailer breakdown video I did. This was at the very end of the interactive trailer. I did not know this was here. This was pointing out to me by your face in the MVP Discord. He pinged me this. It mentions GORP of you hover over Splitgate 2 logo and interactive trailer and click on it. It says, "What is this mystery food? It meant something different in the past." So yeah, it's a reference to what it means today, right? In today's society and in real life, right? A snack consisting of high energy food as raisin and nuts. So apparently it's not trail mix in the Splitgate lore today. So that's very interesting. It could be actually just the same thing for all we know, and they're just trying to troll us. But I find it pretty amusing, nonetheless. So let's end that. The IGN article. I did not mention this, but there is an IGN article where Ian, the main dev of Splitgate, had an interview with one of the IGN employees here, and talked a lot about Splitgate and what their plans is for Splitgate 2. Basically, this article just goes. It basically just explained that. So the direction for Splitgate 2 is to basically compete with other free-to-play shooters today. They want to try aim to be that #1 shooter on the block. And they think they can achieve that goal finally with this new entry. And I'm looking forward to the competition that they might have. And then they also have a playtest later this year, sometime around Gamescom. And if you're wondering when around Gamescom is, it's around the end of August. Now, we don't know if the playtest is only gonna be at Gamescom, or it'll also be a public playtest. But nonetheless, we should have gameplay footage around this time, and be able to cover more of what it feels like, and yeah. So yeah, a lot of opportunities around the end of August to get the feel of the game for sure. Also, this game is not a hero shooter. I know there's a lot of people think that it's a hero shooter. It's actually what we called. It's a class-based shooter or arcade shooter where it's still fast-paced, like it was when Splitgate 1 was arena shooter, right? So he mentioned here is that they're gonna focus a little less on the overall how many portals there are, and the portals are gonna be more deliberate, right? So yeah, there'll still be portal walls. They're just not gonna do as much of them. Yeah, a little bit more intentional. Yeah, you see that right there, and less chaotic. So yeah, let's discuss the screenshots. You can find the screenshots in this article, right? Or you can find them on the Discord. Yeah, you can find them in the Discord. They have a whole screenshots tab. Or you can find them at the Steam page. And the thing about the Steam page is we actually get to see what is the required specs for the game. And I got good news for you guys. The recommended specs for Splitgate 2, for graphic cards wise, is a 1060. So you're not going to need a very high-end graphics card to be able to play Splitgate 2. So very exciting stuff. So yeah, like I mentioned, we're going to be discussing mainly about the screenshots. I do have 2 new screenshots you guys have not seen, guaranteed, that we're going to be discussing around the end of the video. But first, we got to discuss about the first 8, because I have not discussed about them yet. Alright, now we're up to discussing about the screenshots. Now, I'm not going to discuss too much about them, because we don't got too much information about them. But we know that Eros is the faction that takes place on Earth. And this map here is called Ozone. We see that in the text right here, Ozone. And like the previous trailer, the previous breakdown interactive trailer video we did, they mentioned that this map is also called Ozone, right? And then the second screenshot, we get to see a first-person view of what's like on Ozone. And here we get to see what looks like it's the gun that you see bolts split into 2, or the cinematic trailer while he was like doing the momentum flight. This kind of looks like a pistol, but I know it's not a pistol because, again, the cinematic trailer is shot like it was like an SMG. Maybe it's kind of like a burst fire like pistol, because that's kind of like an SMG, right? And then so I never discussed like what is my theory of how that works, right? So my theory of how the gun that splits into dual wielding works is that my assumption is that when you get the gun out and when you hold down the zoom button, right? I don't think it zooms the weapon. Instead, I think it transforms into this dual wield state, right? So it's like an alternative fire. So that's why I assume the dual wielding SMG like gun's gonna be all about for bolts. But yeah, you just see 2 lads shooting through a portal, getting this guy, right? And you get to see 2 other enemy portals right here. So not much to talk about other than that. This guy does look like he's having a different gun, but I'm not gonna discuss too much about the guns themselves. Koma has a great video out recently that I will link in the description, where you guys can hear his take on the majority of the guns there. But I'll talk a little bit on the guns. It's not as much as he did. So he went in huge depth on them. So yeah. Third image. Third image, as you can see, is ZenithExterior right here. Zenith is the map we saw from the Splitty Awards teaser. The very first teaser for the game where we got the Hall of Fame and everything. That is this map. Now, I don't know where this location is in correlation to that teaser. It's a little confusing to look at, I'm not gonna lie. Because, like, I don't know if we're like in like the floor here or something, or what. But we get to see crowds here, and it seems like they are very like sci-fi-esque, from what I can tell. But yeah, the Zenith we know takes place over at Meridian, which Meridian is over at the Venus planet, right? And the reason why we can come to that conclusion is mainly the color scheme, right? Meridian is very purple themed, which you can see here. And so yeah, you got Zenith, right? And then you also got the Meridian logo next to these Zenith flags. Next image, which again is also on Zenith. This is ZenithInterior. A couple videos ago, I did this whole theory where I was like, okay, simulation rainforest and simulation and lava field probably could be like simulation maps. I think that's pretty much debunked at this state. So basically what they did, they shared two images of exterior. Like this looks to be the rainforest area, and this looks like to be the lava field area of that Zenith map. And basically Elemental seems like they are in charge of these like museum like exhibit like areas. I think like these are basically just not real, right? Like it may look like there's lava here, but it's all holographic. They're not actually real. And I think it's like same with like maybe some rainforest elements. I mean, the grass is probably real, but I don't know if the lava itself is, right? I think it's just like all like a illusion from what I can tell. But yeah, over at the fourth image here with the rainforest, you get a new gun here. I saw this in the Komas video. This is actually an arrows weapon here, which was kind of surprising to me because I thought like all of the plasma like weapons was gonna be like I thought they were all gonna be like Meridian theme. At least I think this is like a plasma like weapon. It looks like they're shooting like some kind of plasma like bullet, right? But it seems to be that that's not exactly the case. It looks like arrows and maybe even some brass is also gonna have some kind of like plasma like weapons. Alright, so here we get to see Frontier, which is a map around Sabrask faction on Mars. They seem to be all about making like a colony here on Mars. Like this whole map itself just seems to be like some kind of colony of sort on Mars. So that's pretty cool to see that in like action and like in the lore that like, yo, you're over at colony. And it also just doesn't seem like there's a lot of portal walls going on in here. Like we get to see one here, 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 and then here. But then in the next screenshot, you don't see like any out here. And you also don't really see much here either, right? Also here, which we can only really assume that this is probably a like kind of like jump pad of some sort. I assume this makes the player get across this gap here. And then this next screenshot, we basically get to see sliding getting shown off. The only reason why I say this is sliding here, because of the angle and the way the guy's holding the gun here. And you got these blur lines around, which only really, like, the only assumption you can really make out of this is, like, this dude is sliding and maybe there's, like, some momentum going on. Hence why there's blur lines around. Alright, so those are the 8 screenshots, right? Now, on the main website here, if you go to the TOS, or the Code of Conduct, you actually get to see 2 different screenshots here. We're going to start with this one, and if you go to, like, View Page Source, you can actually find... Let's go with this screenshot first. You get to see this. This screenshot is the one that's being used here, the circle, like, the circle stuff here. But basically, you get to see a lot more of the Ozone map. Which, I'm going to click on this one. Because this one has, this one's in more detailed, right? So, like, this one's like the 3K, like, image. This image is very, very high in detail. But what can we tell what is new here, from what I was able to pick up, is that there seems to be a new sponsor, and that maybe that is what the other image is trying to point out, the whole sponsor of bubbles here. So you got BBLES here and BU with the bubbles like icon here, but you can see that in full text here, so bubbles, right? So yeah, new sponsor there. What's interesting is there's a portal wall, there's portal here, and there's like a trail here that connects through around here. And this makes me think that this is like some kind of like Juggernaut game mode, perhaps. And the only reason why I think that is right here. Now, you could say that maybe this is just saying hail control, but maybe it's also saying kill control, right? Like maybe you got like the kill, like you kill the last person of a Juggernaut, and this is like how long you have controlled staying alive since you kill that man. So maybe this is some kind of free-for-all mode. I know Splitgate 1 did something like that, but it didn't receive very well. I feel like this might be a possible re-attempt at that game mode. But if it's not that, then this is just a King of a Hill match. And this is hill control. We also get to see what looks to be team names. Doesn't seem like it's going to be Alpha versus Bravo anymore. Now, I can't really read this out. Maybe this is Taurus, I don't know. But we also get to have like unique like logos for these as well. We got like what seems to be a hawk, and then another that looks to me to be like a lion of some sort. And here we get to see a bit more on the sponsors and more detailed. So we got Slicer, we got, I think X7, what was that, X7, I don't know, it's like some kind of triangle symbol and L. We got, let me zoom in here. We got, what was that, Miland, Javelin, Kinetic, and I don't know what this reads out, but yeah. And then you get to see a little bit more detail on the map. You still can't see the basement part. I know there's gotta be a basement part because, like, for example, like, if I go, yeah, this connects to somewhere, right? Like, it's gotta lead to somewhere. I think there's like a archway here too, underneath this this ramp here. Like, these gotta lead to somewhere. Also, we don't know where this leads to still yet, but there's probably more map over on that side of the area, right? And we get to see a little bit more of how much spacing the momentum jumps are. Sorry, man, the zoom is a little too much. Let me try to do this a bit better. There we go. So yeah, this momentum doesn't seem like it's too far apart. And have you seen the cinematic trailer? It didn't really seem like it took that much time for Bolt to get through this, to do the momentum. So this makes me think that momentum is going to be a little bit like easier to do in the game. Because like this does not seem that far down to me in this perspective. So yeah, that's very interesting. Alright, so yeah, that was at the TOS, right? Now the last image, this is like the most information that you guys are going to receive. And this is going to really blow out your minds. First off, let me close out a lot of these tabs. I don't need to see anymore. Alright. So this very next image here, boom. So this is the one I discovered. Jernik found this one for me because I thought I checked TOS and didn't find an image, but apparently this was there. I don't know how I overlooked this, but over the Code of Conduct, this image is over at Code of Conduct. If you do view source, yeah, like view page source, right? This shows a lot of what is going on in the game itself, right? Like, you actually get to see the UI. Here, this is not just a compass that we see, guys. This is straight up a mini map, and it looks to me that they are indicating where the portals are at. This also seems to be the jetpack fuel bar too. This was usually how the jetpack bar location was at in Splitgate 1, and it seems like they've done the same thing here. How far location is a bit different. It's over the bottom left. You get to see the faction that you're representing here. And also, new character. I think this might be a Doro from the comics, but this is indeed not Bolt, because Bolt has pink hair. He has like pink highlights in his hair, right? And then over here, we get to see where the abilities are. And it seems we get to have 3 abilities. They seem to be default keybinds to Q, E, and G. I think G is basically your grenade slots, since you have 2 of them, right? So this could be like your EMP nades or your what was it, shock disc. So maybe shock disc can replace EMPs. I know it's an arrow's ability, so that could be it. E is, I think E is the deplorable portal, right? I don't know what Q is. Q could possibly be the slow down time effect that we see in the cinematic trailer. But yeah, I have no clue apart from that. And then we also got like some kind of command prompt here. Something to do with lighting, which is kind of funny. Unbuilt lighting interactions. Oh no, man, the lighting interactions are unbuilt. What we're gonna do, man? Alright guys, I had to cut into my recording here because I got a little bit of bad news here. So as I was sharing this in the Theories text channel, community manager Rockjaw has debunked that these screenshots reflects in the final game, including like the UI and all of that. And since then, they took the liberty to remove these screenshots from the TOS and Code of Conduct. However, I'm still granted permission to still go ahead and use these screenshots, and so I figure at the very least I can still provide that those screenshots still exist, and maybe the UI will be somewhat similar, but yeah, they're gonna change it. It's not gonna look exactly like this. Also, you can kind of tell that like arrows here. So this is like the up-to-date arrows. It does look a bit different. Actually, is this the? Yeah, this is the up-to-date arrows. It does look a little bit different from what I can tell from like this screenshot here. So like one thing is like the shading of the text here, right? It's a bit different here. Doesn't have this going on back here, right? So they definitely changed some things, so that's why they decided to remove those screenshots. That was not intended to be in the TOS and Code of Conduct, I guess, for the final stage of the website. They just forgot to change those photos out for updated photos, I guess. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna let Past Phoenix close out the video here. So yeah, those are the screenshots that we have for the game. Let me know what you guys think. If I was missing something in these 2 screenshots, right? If I was missing anything in these 2 screenshots that you guys pointed out, let me know in the comments. I will leave the description. I will leave a link to these photos in the description so you guys can look at them yourself. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys want to see more content covering this game, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time.